You know, and I know, and they know, cause we know, we go all in, you know, and I know, they know, cause we know, we go all in. Welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. It's your boy K Dizzle DC, and it's Half
I like
Streams
that. I like that.
is
What it
in the
do?
building.
What's
Happy
up, K
Mother's
Dizzle?
Day, man. Happy Mother's Day. We are in the building of
Happy Mother's Day to
episode.
all the beautiful mothers.
Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers. Let me get my Twitch right quick, man. Hey, look.
Oh, don't forget
Welcome.
mine. Don't forget mine.
No, I know. I got to get in there. Just get in there, man. Switch my stuff up, man. How you feeling? Look,
Arizona was asking what link it was. I said, man, it's all dressed up on
it's all
Facebook
dressed up on
Live,
Facebook,
on
bro.
YouTube. You know what it
What is
is,
he
man.
talking about, bro? What is he talking about, man? He's a day one. He's asking
But
these
yeah,
wild
but
questions.
we appreciate him. He had a great appearance on last week's episode with D. Things Out Loud. Shout
Oh
out to
man!
them.
Shout out to Bianca's in the building.
Hey Bianca,
Hey,
happy Mother's Day. What's up, Malika
hey!
Shanae?
I don't see a like on the page. What you talking about? What you talking about? Telling us some likes of what you talking about, Malika.
Well, spread your lights.
Spread your likes. Hey, Malika.
Oh,
The
link.
link. Oh, come on. You right. Damn, you know what? I'm tired of you.
You slipping, K Dizzle?
I'm not
There we
slipping.
go.
She running the show from the background, from upstairs. Hey, what's going on? Look. Shout out to all the mothers, my beautiful four sisters, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. Your men took care of you, your kids took care of you, everybody.
Absolutely.
Look, man. Um,
Happy
nothing.
Mother's Day, Melinda. What's up?
There's nothing like. There's nothing like being a mom. It's not like being a mom. No man can do that job. No man can do that job. Period.
Right.
Hey, Melinda. You guys were built for it. You guys were built for it. It's on there. What you talking about, boo? Make sure you share it. Make sure you share it. So look, we're gonna
Like,
get
share, subscribe.
like, share, subscribe. We're gonna get in where we fit in and get the ball rolling because today
Who'd have
is a
thought?
special day.
Episode 14, man. Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
14 weeks, man. Straight
14
consistency.
weeks strong, and we got plenty more to go. Plenty
Grinding.
more to go.
Show them your shirt.
Show
Grinding. No, I said show them your shirt.
Show my shirt. This is why I grind. This is why I work. This is why I hustle. Shout out to the boy Eric Thomas. Shout out to Eric Thomas. If you're on the motivational speaker to yell at you and punch you in the mouth, he's the guy. And look, let me put this up right now because we're going to get it in deep dive conversation today. It's going to be very important, close to home, close for everybody. 857-1757 is the number to text and join the conversation. If you want a video in, you want to call in. Les Brown. Oh, you a Les Brown fan? That's cool. Yes, Les Brown, Eric Thomas,
Les Brown stuff.
Gary V, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor. We can go down the list. You got to have some people that you're listening to that is actually going to enrich your life more than anything else.
You be listening to Joel Osteen in the morning.
No, I don't. I don't listen to Joel Osteen. I don't. Joel Osteen is the Frosted Flakes of the Christian community, and don't get me started. He is the name brand, the poster child. Let's stop. Let's get into sports because you about to get me going into that. I don't want to do that.
So yeah, man. So this week we're talking about some real stuff later on, ladies and gentlemen. So come on in. Obviously we're interactive like always, but just to start off light, we're gonna talk about some stuff tonight. But in sports, it's my favorite time of the year.
Yes.
K Dizzle needs to wake up because it's the NBA playoffs. It's coming around the corner. The standings are definitely interesting. The Lakers are sliding a little bit. LeBron's still nursing his ankle, rooting for my man to come back. Russell Westbrook is balling out of control.
Out of control, what's up with your
boy? Tying the big O for the most triple doubles of all time. The man's averaging like 15 assists per game. It's crazy.
The man is phenomenal. He's been doing it, but I think because he's on the Wizards and he's giving them that push. I mean, he's been doing it. So, hey, Bill shout out to the hat. Shout out to the apparel tonight.
Bill dropped 50 last night. The Wizards won in overtime. They beat Indiana, so they're now in 9th place. They'll be looking good as far as the standings for the play-in. As far as MVP race, you still got Embiid, Jokic, and Chris Paul coming up, and that's the NBA. Then you got the fight that took place last night. I'm gonna touch on briefly. I told you about. I found a little backdoor link. I'm not gonna be too hot, but found the fight last night online, and your boy Canelo in the 9th round hits Billy Joe Saunders and breaks his orbital bone.
Who
doesn't come out? Unified.
Go ahead. Who is Unified? Go ahead.
Hey, he had to fight him. He had a belt. He was over there in London, ducking and dodging him for a while. So he had to see him for the belt. So he added another one to the collection by breaking the boy's face last night. I was like, damn. He said he felt his face under his glove when he punched him. So
I think Canelo went 8-9 rounds just to go 8-9 rounds because boxing is so. He don't have what up, Tony?
What up, Tony?
What's going on?
Love you, bro.
He doesn't have any competition right now. Who out there? And if he does, they don't want to fight each other. They all trying to split the purse. And this era of boxing has been so. I think it's been trash. It's watered down. It's been trash.
I mean,
nobody fights nobody.
You got exhibitions now. Bringing in $50 million. And speaking of exhibitions, we got your boy Floyd Mayweather running into Jake Paul over the weekend. And what happened with that? I'm gonna let you show what happened with that, K Dizzle. So this is hilarious.
So I wish I should have pulled my picture up. I took my picture down. I should have pulled it up.
Yeah, you updated your profile picture.
I did update my profile picture. To the Floyd Mayweather snapshot. But I did pull it up. But let's roll the tape. I'm not even going to show my picture. Let's roll the tape. Let's get this sports out the way and roll this tape of Floyd Mayweather, aka Planet of the Apes. I don't know if you've seen the snapshot or not. If you haven't seen the snapshot, you need to check it out. Let me move us over to the bottom and get this thing rolling. So he's fighting Jake Paul. For an exhibition, right?
He's fighting Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, okay. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Hold on. Check it. Hold on. Check it. Let me get a good shot. Check the scruff. Check the scruff.
Right in front. Good.
Absolutely.
Look at the scruff.
Let's make it happen. Yes, sir.
Get the paperwork for this ball.
Get Al Hammond.
Absolutely. I don't need Al Hammond.
Let me call Al Hammond.
I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss.
One night. Got your hat.
And he's off.
And he's off. And there he goes.
Look at that. Picture there.
Too many Negroes.
Wow.
Hey, look, man. Hey, look. The scuffle continues, right? The scuffle continues and carries on. And let me find this Floyd Mayweather picture because I'm telling you, bro, man, looks like
hilarious. And then your boy Jake Paul went and got a tattoo with a picture of a hat saying "Got your hat." All that off of that scuffle, got a tattoo and everything, and gone viral again. It's crazy, man. He's a viral machine.
He's a viral machine. Who's it? Who did he put on his put on the ass? Is that the Nate? Was it Nate?
Yeah, knocked him smack out.
Yeah, put Nate on the ground, made him a meme, bro.
I mean, goodness gracious, put him to sleep. They said he was still asleep for like 2 fights later. Put him to sleep, man.
They had to wake the boy up. Hold on, man. Hold on. This is my problem. I found a picture. It ain't my picture, but I found a picture. The problem is This man is worth, I don't know how much, hundreds of million dollars.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. I gotta blow that up so y'all can really get the vibe on that. Where is that picture? God damn.
I told you,
Blow
if I
that
was
up.
Floyd Mayweather and I had all that money, all my friends would have to have barber licenses. So if I needed to shape up wherever I was, wake up, bro. Hoes can grow. Hey, we out here though. But if I was Floyd, I had so many people around me that could cut my hair at any given moment. That boy been looking like he has been stuck in isolation for real.
Yo, he looked like he been a Planet of the Apes, man. You should have seen that profile picture. I can't take it with Floyd. He worth too much money to be running around the streets looking like that. And you asked me earlier if I thought it was staged. If
that shit
it
look
was,
like the old WWF with Ric Flair and Macho Man.
if it was staged, I don't think Floyd Money Mayweather would have came out looking like who done it. That
I
man
never
looked
seen him
like,
come out look like that. Period.
yo, all he needed was those Shamar Moore braids from that Tyler Perry movie, and it would have been a wrap.
Nah, all he needed
Appreciate you, photo.
was the Martin Lawrence cotton ball beard puffs when he ran off to the monastery. That boy was looking like he was lost.
It's a hot mess, man. It's a hot mess. That is the worst.
So we was gonna softball toss before we get into our deep dive this evening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talking about one of your favorite characters and a lot of the people in the chat's favorite character, Kevin Samuels. And you know, the newfound YouTube, you know, social media beef, I guess you want to call it, between him and Dr. Umar Johnson. What do you think about that situation? You know, where did it start? Who threw the first punch? Who, you know, the first verbal assault came from, I think, Kevin Samuels. A lot of women were talking to him saying they appreciated Dr. Umar Johnson's approach more than his. And Kevin Samuels is not apologetic about the way he delivers it. So we're not gonna talk about them long tonight. It's a softball toss because they were in the news over the last couple of days. That's how you feel, K Dizzle?
Bro, I can't. All right. Yeah, I'm done. I'm I don't even know these.
I got put on to it, Bianca. They didn't put me on the Kevin Samuels.
Don't nobody care about no Umar Johnson, man. I equate Umar Johnson as, what's that Chappelle Show character, as the black white supremacist.
Oh man,
that's how much, man.
He got schools. He got schools and all that other stuff though. Like that's the thing,
man.
He actually tried to come out and said Kevin Samuels was doing black women wrong by talking down to him and making them feel bad about themselves. He was trying to take that angle.
First of all, Kevin Samuels, let's stop giving this dude air. Okay. Secondly, Dr. Umar Johnson, can we fade him to black? Can we trade him? Can the black delegation trade him to the white delegation? Okay, I'm putting him in the Trump camp because
Arizona,
it's just stuff you don't need to listen to, hear, to watch. Because look, there may be kibbles and bits that you can hear and understand, like, oh, that makes sense. But the 80% of the trash that they talk about is not worth mentioning. Kevin Samuels and Umar Johnson is doing that to fill the air of Kevin Samuels so he can ride the coattails of the bubble that he has right now. That's just what it is, 110%.
But look at Arizona's comment.
I hate to see it.
Some people feel like they don't want to see those two going at it. Like, is there a space for both of them to coexist? You know what I'm saying? And in that part, I guess, of the manosphere is what they call it.
Who are you talking about? What rap are we talking about?
Nah, she said if we keeping these ignorant ass rappers, we might as well keep Kevin Samuels and them.
Look. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about the culture of rap as it stands right now, because it'll only last because people are buying it and listening to it. Once people stop buying and listening to it, then it will change. So outside of that, it's what it is. I know. Twitch is delayed.
It's probably Twitch.
It is probably Twitch. So, whatever. Umar Johnson, Cameron Sanders, both of them dudes, got issues. Everybody coming after them. But because right now they're the talk of the town. Everybody coming after them because right now they're the talk of the town. And I like you said, I'm done talking about
Bianca. Take 10 minutes and go down a rabbit hole and watch some Kevin Samuels YouTube videos. You be cracking up like shit.
Oh, I know you. He just go hard on the women, man. That's all they do. He go hard on the women. So and it's hard for me to accept it as a man to go and punch them women in the mouth. Some women do hear better from a man, but it needs to come from a woman. It needs to come from a woman. If you're gonna punch a woman in the mouth, let it come from a woman. That's just my opinion. I think some men and women hear stuff differently. That's why Oprah got so many women followers. Shout out to Oprah and Oprah Money. But
so let's chalk up Kevin Samuels and let's chalk up Dr. Umar. So tonight, obviously, if you don't know, guys, it's Who Punching Bitches. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, right, K Dizzle?
It is May is Mental Health Awareness Month. If you don't know, now you know. It is the most important month after coming out of 2020 because
it's a lot of stuff going on.
All of us, yes, all of us need to be in therapy. When you Bamas got put on lockdown in the house, everybody got cabin fever. Everybody went crazy. Everybody went on the internet, and everybody found the farthest reaches of the internet and where to go and how to get it. I mean, but more importantly, the reason why we're talking about it today, actually on Mother's Day, is because for us as men to be better for our women who are mothers, who are possibly mothers, we need to make sure that we are better men. And we're more than anything better humans. So in order for us to do that, we got to make sure that we're right. We're right on the inside as well as the outside. Because the biggest thing we talk about all the time is about, we just did the top 5, right? Almost like 3 of the top 5 were men don't know how to communicate. Men don't know, how to be present, or what was it? I mean, most of them were having with personal issues that men deal with on a regular basis, and not being able to articulate what they need to say and how they need to say it to a woman. So
tonight we want to use our platform, to basically allow us to discuss, a lot of the things that we're feeling. And, hopefully you guys that come on every week can open up with us and share and interact and text in so we can pull you through, because there's a lot of things going on, like K Dills was saying. And, for us to have that self-awareness is very important, specifically for men and even Black men, when it comes to seeking therapy and feeling like, you're vulnerable when you want to find that help. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about some different bullet points, and hopefully you can join us.
And look, women, ask the questions. Ask the questions you want answers from men. We will answer them. I promise you, the men in the chat will answer them, and we'll answer them honest, upfront, and to the best of our ability, because these things that we're going to talk about tonight usually don't get talked about. And if they do, they get talked about in real small circles between men that have the ability to have that connection and talk and really work through these things. So I know we kind of worked together and put some questions together beforehand. So you want to start going down the list?
Yeah, so I'm going to throw a question out there to the chat, throw it out there to UK Dizzle. We'll talk about, I guess, how we both feel about it. But the first one's a good one. Why do Black men use the absent father excuse for their actions?
Wait a minute. Shanae, why y'all don't clean up after y'all selves? Why y'all don't clean up after y'all selves? Now, is this? Wait a minute. We gonna go to that question, but let me
y'all?
address. Hold on. She generalizing men, right? She's generalizing all men.
Yo,
why y'all don't clean up after yourselves? All right. Not all men don't clean up after themselves. The unkept men do. Do not. The unkept men do not. The unkept men do not.
She ain't about to go at me like that. Like, I don't
no. Now, what happens?
Not my government either.
Now what? Oh, she came with the government. Now, what happens sometimes, and I'm guilty of it too, after a long day of work, because Ron, stop it. Stop it, Ron. Because we always had women who do it. Stop it. So after a long day of work, and I'm guilty of it too. You know, I come from an industry where we work 12, 14-hour days. I would literally come home, drop my clothes in one spot, take a shower, and go to bed. I would do that. But I had to unlearn that because after 3 pounds of clothes, it's out of hand.
After 3 pounds, so I stayed there.
3 pounds, it gets out of hand. So the unkept man won't clean up after themselves. Or like you said, men have been trained not to because they've had women who've always cleaned up behind them. Sometimes a woman, this could be it could be a single mother thing. A woman does a lot for the son, or the girlfriends that they have does a lot for the man, and they've been trained that way.
That's cap. I clean up after myself, K. Like the youngins say, that's cap.
Ron, you're not cool no more. But no, the unkept man does not clean after himself because it's a learned behavior. They learn that people are going to clean up after them.
So I didn't wash a dish until I was 22.
Jesus. Oof. I wish, bro. I wish. But let's get back to keep asking those questions.
So I threw the first question out there. We talking about mental health, specifically with young black men, and why do black men use the absent father excuse for their actions?
Shanae is throwing out. Do you see that? Answer that, Hal. We're gonna get to mental health, but Shanae.
So Shanae Wilborn, she comes through and she says, my question ... is why do y'all have so many excuses? Lies, sir. I just picked up 3 glasses. Okay. So excuses are sometimes reasons. It's not always an excuse. And like Katie was just saying, working a lot, sometimes the hours get long, and then I wake up and I don't even understand how that it's that many dishes in the sink because I was at work for 12 hours.
Look, that's throwing shots. You throwing shots out here.
But on the flip side, I guess a couple of those late night trips to the kitchen, when you halfway asleep, 2 o'clock in the morning, I might leave a dish there too. But I'll agree to disagree.
All right. So
go ahead, man. What you think?
Give me that question one more time, because
for the fifth time, we're not gonna keep firing off.
We're not gonna keep firing off, Shanae. We're not gonna deal with you.
Again, we're talking about mental health. We're gonna get serious now. I want people to be honest and open and join in. Why do black men use the absent father excuse for their actions? Is that true? Is that the case? No father, no examples of
the accent.
No father excuse. No examples of manhood. Most fatherless boys go through life winging it. So that's what I'm saying. Is that an excuse or is that a reason? I didn't have a father growing up, so can I use the excuse of not having that father for the way I behave as an adult through my 20s and 30s? That's what we're talking about. And a lot of men are raising children and having relationships. We getting tag team.
I know.
No, it's Mother's Day, man. We ain't gonna win a day.
Yeah, I know we ain't gonna win. No, that is not a valid excuse. Because even if you didn't have a father,
come on, let's talk about it, man. That's a good one.
Even if you didn't have a father, you still had a mother who if was there, taught you manners, respect, and taught you certain things in life. Now, there are certain things a mother is not going to be able to teach a son. There's
Right.
certain things a father is not going to be able to teach a daughter. However, um, the mother can give as much guidance as she can to get him to where he needs to go.
Yeah, but if
Uh,
you haven't seen, that male figure in your home, when it comes to being in those situations as a man yourself, are you going to be able to find that from what you learned from your mom? Where do you find the testosterone or the mental aspect of a man when you didn't have that in your household growing up? And then now you have to be that man who you never saw, because now you're actually there raising your children, being the husband. And in a way, are you winging it, like Arizona Ron said?
if you've never had anybody in your life, or if your mom isn't instilling certain values, intrinsic values into you as a human, then it's tough. You are
Cool, good
winging
call.
it. It's tough. You are winging it. The male figure, um, let me say the mother, or the caretaker should give you. They can give you examples. They can tell you how a man's supposed to do, what a man's supposed to do. Um, but if you don't internalize that, or if you're not taught that, then no, you're going to be winging it 110%. Hold on. What's the excuse for men that has the male figure in the home? There is no excuse.
That's a
You can
great
blame
question.
there is no excuse. You can blame it on the fact that the male figure that's in the home is not a real male figure, or you can blame it on the fact that one of the top 5 reasons why men ruin the relationship, not only with their significant other but with their children, is because they're not present. They're
All right,
not
but
present.
let's dig into let me dig into this real quick. Bianca
Go ahead,
says,
dig into that.
I don't care if you had nobody, a mother or a father. Your ass better learn to stay your ass by yourself. YouTube that shit. All right, now let me address that real quick, Kate.
Go ahead.
So again, if you don't have a father, right? That's the original question.
Mhm.
Where do you go? And I'm asking this isn't rhetorical. Where do you go get the information from that you would kind of use if you would like to get an example for how the male acts in the home? I'm just saying, if you're one of those learners that you want to see, people do it hands on, where do you get that from? See, me personally, I was raised by my grandmother, and she taught me all the things that I needed to know. But
Mhm.
for me to have that balance, I guess to have a level of toughness, I hate to say like all men got to be tough, but I learned that from my friends in the neighborhood. I got
Yeah.
to be out the street and experience just enough to where my grandmother, she pulled me back from being too far in the street, but she let me get the street just enough to know what not to want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What not to settle with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I saw the men out there, some men doing different things to get their money. Dr. Phil, we talking tonight.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's I guess where she's saying you can go find information from Dr. Phil and Oprah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that's cool, but you can't. Can they relate to us though, Bianca? That's the question we're talking about tonight. Can they relate to us?
The difference is, you talk about, see, and that's it's called on the job training. Listen to your part and take accountability for your action. Learn to communicate. That's the hard part, because now we're talking about
That's yeah.
we're talking about young adolescents becoming adults that have already cured bad habits because they don't have those intrinsic values. You can
Read a
read a
book.
book, you can go to Dr. Phil, you can go to Oprah, you can watch YouTube, but if you don't have the human connection, that stuff may or may not stick. And there's a
Man,
difference between
Kate Dizzle, what you're saying is right about the human connection. I ain't mean to cut you off, but
oh,
if you don't see it, if you don't feel and experience that in real life, you're never gonna, in my opinion, believe it to be real. You can't get everything from a book. You're not cooking.
there are certain values, there are certain things that you learn in life through human interaction that you're not able to get anywhere else. There is no empathy, right?
Right.
There is no empathy
And that's why we're talking
because
about it.
because men are always looked at to be the pillars of the foundation, right? We're always looked at to be the ones to carry the load, just like women are the ones to carry the load of home and work and kids, and those that do it well, I applaud you 110%. But
Let
we're
me ask
talking
you a
about the
question.
struggles. Hold on. Let me finish this though. We're talking about the struggles of the man who has to carry. But my cousin didn't have a father, was raised by all women. He's a great dad, in my opinion, because he had women in his life that told him or explained to him and gave him the human interaction, letting him know that this is what a man should do, shouldn't do, supposed to do, or not supposed to do. And because of that, because you guys were involved in his upbringing and gave him that and poured that into him, he was able to understand what a woman was looking for, what she needed to be able to fulfill her in the ways necessary to become a great partner and a good communicator. So men, getting back to men being the pillars, like I said, it's a generational thing where women have been taught one thing and men have been taught another thing. And thank God that we're kind of breaking out of that a little bit. But men have been always been taught to be strong, to be, to carry everything, to do this, to work, without fail, don't show your feelings, all that other crazy stuff,
But
right?
that's my question for you though. How do they be strong if, and I'm talking about in a masculine, manly way, we're talking about, I mean, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. How can they be strong if they don't see the man in the house? Where do they get that from?
There
Obviously, women instill strength. Don't get me wrong. I got a lot of strength from my grandmother, but I'm talking about when it came down to me being out as a man in the street. Where do they get that from?
they get that strength from their for whoever's raising them. You get that inner strength, whatever your determination, your drive, your push, that's taught. That's taught from when you're very, very, very little. Determination, drive, and push is taught, and that's that's what I call an intrinsic value. Look,
Mm,
esteem, self esteem, those things are taught. Um, I'll give you an example, okay? Because I understand how important mental health is for men and women. One of the things that I've done for my daughters since they were little, I say to them every night, "You're pretty, you're smart, you're strong. I love you, and I'm proud of you." I say those five things, and usually I've got to the point where I let them finish the last two or whatever the case may be, because
mm,
I want that to be instilled in their heads so they don't look for the validation outside of themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking that upon myself to embed that into my girls. Men men who are growing up, men don't do those type of things. They do different. They tell them, get up, wipe the dirt off, get out there, do it again, be strong, don't show your feelings, work hard, do this, do that. They're taught in a different way. So now they're getting older, they're getting into that relationship, and they're not able to show their feelings. They're not able to share their vulnerabilities because they're taught to just throw those to the side and to keep running and do what you're supposed to do and provide for that family. And that's where they get caught when they get into that room and they explode. They don't have that ability to let it out. You know what I'm saying? And now the weight of the world is on their shoulders and they stress out. Some of them commit suicide, some of them get vices, some other have
mm,
other issues, or some of them are women abusers. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Abuse women because they don't know how to deal with their emotions and their feelings. They take it out on other things. So um, that is never an excuse for a man not to be able to show his feelings or be vulnerable because they don't have a father figure growing up in their life. Right? Y'all don't grace the same the way we don't give grace to the women out here. Everything that moved because they didn't have a dad that loves. An absent parent is going to have a negative impact. Doesn't matter. You're right. It is going to have a negative impact, but the impact can be diminished based on the one that's there if they have the wherewithal to be able to teach that child right. But let's go to the next
Well, let's
question.
well let's hold on. Let's transition from what we were just talking about there to, how we were talking about the proverbial bag, or how we keep tucking away everything emotionally, like me and you talked about off air, right?
Hmm.
We keep trying to be strong, right? And we keep trying to be the man to be there for our family, or be the man to be there for our sisters and brothers and nephews. And we can't really show weakness or vulnerability. So where do we go when that bag gets full? Or, what do we do when we just keep, suppressing all of our emotions every day and just go to work and deal with that? The fact that we don't get grace shown to us. You know what I'm saying? Where do
Right.
we go? What do we do?
Hey, what's up, realities?
What's up, realities? How you doing?
We get what we do is we get vices. Some men do go to church, but we get
Mm.
vices. We're quick to pull a vice out, whether it
So you
be
talking about coping mechanisms?
coping mechanisms. We get vices. We drown them away. We don't necessarily deal with them. We drown them, and we suppress them until they become bigger issues.
Dangerous. It's
They
dangerous,
become
man.
dangerous issues. We drink, we smoke, we go out, we party, we strip club, we it can be just stuck on the internet. It could be video games. It could be whatever. It could be cigars. It don't matter. We find a vice to deal with the stuff to suppress those issues. Now, um, not saying that all of those things are just used to suppress them. Everything is good in moderation. When it becomes an issue when those things overtake your life, meaning that you do nothing but those things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we all know somebody from the hood that smoke weed all the time.
But when have
All the
you?
time.
But when have
Stayed high
you?
all the time.
But when have you ever seen anybody like growing up? Right. I'm gonna ask you a question. When have you ever seen anybody growing up, kind of like break down their feelings and talk about the stuff that they were going through, like when it came to their boys or whatever? Like we ain't never really talk about too much emotional stuff growing up. We try to
No.
play sports and escape the bullshit and get away and play football and basketball. We didn't really sit around and talk about the things we were going through because we kind of knew like we were going through it. We both knew just like from
Mhm.
growing up with each other. So we always keep it to ourselves. And that's the thing. Like I've gotten to a point to where, I've coped and I've used coping mechanisms that probably aren't the best, personally,
Mhm.
but I was able to I won't even say be vulnerable, but just be self-aware and look at myself in the mirror. And I saw a therapist, and I speak to a therapist every week. And the best thing about being able to talk about what you go through in life is just expressing yourself and being able to
Mhm.
get it all out. When you can't get that out, when you don't have an outlet, that's when it becomes real stressful, and stress can kill you, man.
Stress
You
kills
know,
people all the time. Yeah, stress kills people all the time. Arizona Ron said it best. Coping ain't healing.
it's
It's not
not.
healing. It's just suppression. It's just suppression. What can men do different? You right. What can men do different? The difference
That's a good question.
is and I know I said that earlier. I said it offline. We have to be able to normalize therapy.
Mm.
We got to be able to normalize. Um,
We got to be able to not feel weak or not be ashamed. It's always about our ego. In my opinion, it's our ego. We can't show that weakness. Once you show K Dizzle that window of opportunity of weakness, you just feel like you're exposed. And I was there. It took me a moment, to get to that point personally to be able to go and talk about, my areas of weakness where I wanted to improve. And that's just good self-awareness. We're joking a lot about smoke better weed, and
mhm.
that's cool. It's funny, but seriously though, we need to reach out and help each other because sometimes weed's not gonna help. What do you do when you work all day and you're stressed out and you go home and you smoke weed every night,
Mhm.
or you go home and you drink Hennessy every night, and all of a sudden that doesn't solve your problems anymore. That's when you gotta face the real K Dizzle.
Yeah, and have those conversations with your friends. That's where pride gets in the way. That's where um, that's where men are afraid to show their vulnerability because we're they're always, and all men are guilty of it at a certain point, to be afraid to talk to their friends about what they really feel because
And
they're
that's the
afraid of,
next
like you
question.
said,
So why, K Dizzle? Why is that? That's the next question. Why
like
why
you
are we
said,
afraid to show vulnerability?
we are afraid to look weak. We are afraid to look helpless, and we are afraid to look like in we are in need.
But what's the worst that could happen? Like if we were to sit there and be vulnerable and talk to your uncle or your best friend and say, "Look, man, I really want you to." I mean, okay, if you got to do it over a blunt, do it over a blunt.
Right.
But get it out though.
That's
you know what
where
I'm saying? Get it out. Get it out before you end up. Look, man, I want to talk about it real quick and not to talk too long, but
no, go ahead.
During this pandemic alone, and this is a sensitive topic for me, I got 3, I would say, brothers, like my best friend, and 2 of my brothers that right now on house arrest are locked up because, in my opinion, the emotions just build up. They made possibly bad decisions. I'm not going to speak on their situations, but 2 on house arrest and 1 in jail. I mean, just during the pandemic alone, like we need an outlet to reach out and be able to communicate to get that steam off, man, before everything just piles up and then we make that bad decision. Because once we are in that situation to make that decision, society is not going to give us that second chance.
Right.
That's the thing we got to talk about.
Yeah. So, we're afraid to do that because, like I said, you say it's easy to say, well, what's the worst that can happen? Well, man has to get over his pride first before that can happen. You got to get over themselves first and get over how they are afraid to be seen in the eyes of someone else. How that before because the perception that people want them to see sometimes to people is more important than the reality. Therapy helps you heal. It's a good tool to self-reflect, learn to control your emotions. Therapy is not healing, but it's a great tool to identify the issues and change them. Yes, therapy is used.
Therapy is a way to heal.
Therapy is a way to heal. Therapy actually exposes the habit loop. And when I say that is the cue, the habit, and the routine, the cue, the habit, and the routine, so that you can break the cycle of those things that are damaging to you after every time you reach a certain level of trauma. See, when we use coping mechanisms like smoking or drinking, and we all know somebody that's taken it way too far, is because they're using it to not deal with reality and trying to remain that keep that perception of that they want people to see. We all wear faces, and everybody's afraid. We all wear masks, different faces, different masks. We're afraid people to see who we really are and see us in a vulnerable light, and we're afraid that we're not going to be accepted in that matter. That's just,
you know what you made me think about?
What's that?
When you said we wear masks and things like that, my girl tells me this all the time. You never know what the next man is going through. Right? So we go through our lives and we go through our trauma. And, and I just had a situation just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to get to the chat, but, I was on a plane and I had a disagreement with a guy and I got into a little bit of an argument, but the bigger picture is like, why are we fighting and why can't we look past that? And you never know what the next man is going through. Like that trauma that, like I said, that they're experiencing. And, instead of expressing yourself, you're going out and that little, wrong way a person looks at you, or if a person cuts you off in the street or they take your spot in the line at the gas station, whatever, those are the situations that are leading people getting shot, people getting beat up. And she says, tell the real story. Now, I mean, I don't want to go too deep in that story, but it was just me overreacting. And I'm a person that thinks about positivity every day. So I felt bad because I let a person take me to that extent to where I was right. It's okay to not be okay. Right. And I wasn't perfect that day. I made a bad decision, but, that's what happens. Like I still have a temper and I'm working on myself every week. And why did I respond the way I did? Because I was tired. I was tired. I was angry. And it's not an excuse, but it's because I reverted back to what I know. I reverted back. Yeah, it was the easy way to
habit and routine. Yeah, it was the cue. He hit a cue. It set him off, and he immediately was going to use that moment to vent all the frustration out on everything that he's going through in that particular moment. That's why when stuff pops off, it pops off the way that it does.
Right.
It's magnified 1,000%, because, like you said, you never know what that person is going through. So never take it,
Yeah.
for face value and what it is. It's never about you. It is never about you. Somebody is always going through some things, and they don't always say what it is. But go. What was the next question that we had
So
on that
check this
line,
one
bro?
out, right? This is a good one because D was dropping some facts last episode. D thinks
Mm-hmm.
out loud in Arizona. But this is kind of tied to relationships, right? So why do men feel their value is tied solely to their money and their job? So why can't we give the same effort is the question to our family like we do our other passions and our money?
Mm.
Do you think that's true? Do you think we put all of our focus on, I guess, the man who says he has his shit together? Is he equating that to how much money he has in his bank account? Or does a man who has his shit together equate that to loving his wife and loving his children and everything of that nature? What do you think?
I think it's a choice. It's a struggle choice that we make as husbands. It's a struggle choice we make as fathers. Um, that we sometimes decide when there's a situation or there's a ceremony or whatever the case may be. Because we're taught that way. We sometimes choose. We think that working and making money sometimes is more important than being there.
Right.
And what top five things that ruin a relationship, is crazy how these all intertwine. We talk about
That's what
mental
I'm
health, but
saying, right?
um, was for the man to ruin the relationship was being present. And my sister, D thinks out loud.
Yeah.
She was just on Instagram with her two daughters, and they were talking about this a little bit, and she was saying, well, um, that's a struggle that she had to do as a parent, was to decide when she had a track meet, was whether she would be at work or whether she would be at the track meet. And she felt that working was more important than her being at the track meet, because she felt that I was providing for her to be able to do those things,
Mm-hmm.
so as that she can take in those things, when all she wanted from her was to be at the track meet. And she said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if I could do it again, I would choose the track meet. And those are some of the things that, the decisions that we make, that have lasting effects, that sometimes we don't think in the grand scheme of things. Like
But who knows
later
better
on.
than us, though?
Huh?
Who knows better than us, though? Like when it came to our job, working 12, 14
Oh
hours a
man.
day, and how many events do we have to show up late
Oh
to or actually miss because we chose that paycheck? And
man.
we didn't have that job security. And in order for us to make sure we had that 10, 20 car day, our presence was required. And that's the decision. Do you choose family or do you choose the money? And unfortunately, sometimes you can't
You
have
choose. Let
everything
me
you want.
let me tell you what I did later on in my career, in the car business, because in the car business, the average hours worked is anywhere from 50 to 80 hours a week. 50 to
Easy.
80 hours a week. Easy. It's done without fail, no exceptions. So later on in my career, I made a conscious decision to say, I am coming in and I'm leaving at this time. I don't care what the hell is going on. I need to be home. And that was the best decision I ever made, because I missed so many recitals. I missed so many events. I missed so many games. I missed so many track meets. I missed so many cheer competitions, because I
Mm.
thought that it was more important, like my sister was saying, more important to be making the money for them than to be being there. And like I said, if I had made that decision earlier, yes. Um, if I could go back and do it again, yeah, I'd probably be there a lot more. But those are decisions. That's a struggle that the men deal with, going back to it, because now, as those kids, or as your significant other, or the wife, or the girlfriend, relationship continues, and you're not there, you're not as present, they don't understand why the animosity is there,
Mm-hmm.
right? They don't understand why the animosity is there. And because we think that we're doing the best thing, and then we're not doing the best thing, and then it becomes a struggle, and that's something we deal with. Look, car business, car business fucking sucks. It
Car
does suck.
salesmen are right under drug deals when it comes to
Oh my
time.
God.
Yeah, man.
Oh my Lord.
You know what? You see that question from the chat, right? Shanae Wilborn. She asks me this all the time. She tells me, she says, set boundaries. Why do men find it hard to set boundaries? I personally found it hard to set boundaries, because sometimes I feel like, and I gotta say, like, I'd rather react when it comes to a person going too far rather than kind of set the boundary in the beginning, to where I think we should, set those boundaries from the beginning, as opposed to letting somebody dictate and then finally push your buttons to where you react and you can't, pull back from that situation. But another thing too is, like, it's hard for us to have our place in the top 10% and the top 5%. And I know it's going to sound weak, but we're keeping it real tonight. So it's like, when you finally have those opportunities, you don't want to just, give them up. You just don't want to mess up that job, or you just don't want to throw off your 6-figure income. So you got to balance, man. And sometimes we don't get away with the same things that other people get away with in corporate America either. And that's a whole different conversation.
It's very true. That's very true. That is a whole different conversation. However, like I said, later on in my career, when I made the decision to say no, right? To say no, because it helped me. It helped me not only be more effective while I'm there, but it also brought more value. They understood that it brought more value when I was there versus when I wasn't there, and it changed. It changed my life. I ain't even gonna lie. It changed my life.
Up.
So, but being proactive versus reactive, getting back to men and mental health, the hardest thing for a man to do is to be open and honest with the next person about who they really are and what they're going through. Because, like you said, it's the pride thing.
It's a stigma.
And it's a stigma. And we've got to break through that. We got to break through that. And we got to break that cycle, especially black men, especially us as black men. We had so many young brothers that are lost. Love the paycheck though. Yeah, that money only goes so far, bro.
I think it comes down to just, we keep talking about vulnerability, right? And I think it comes down to just letting people in too close to us. Like, we don't want to be feeling like we're exposing ourselves too much, And sometimes that exposure can make you feel weak because, that person might know too much about you. And I've seen, a lot of people can kind of feel, I guess, back themselves in the corner, and we don't want to communicate. That's our biggest thing. We keep saying the word communicate. But, I don't want the next man to know my deepest, darkest, fears or secrets, because now he can take, me for bad, pretty much. And that's that ego again.
Yeah, that's the ego game, and that is the issue. One of the things that I've learned, which is a good thing and a bad thing, is I am openly transparent. So if I am in a position of leadership, or if I'm leading a team, or I'm doing whatever, I let them know what's going on, what we're doing, what the direction is,
you set the
why we're doing it. I set the expectations. Right. And I make sure that everybody is aware of what's going on, why we're doing it, and the reasons why we're pushing that way.
And you can do that with your family too.
You can do that with your family.
Your real life.
And what I have learned is that makes it for a hell of a lot easier place to interact and work in environment to be within, because nobody feels like, oh, they're keeping something from me, or they're doing this, or they're doing that. No. If you want to if you ask a question, you will get the answer. Now that can work twofold, because if you're too open and honest and transparent, those that don't like you are going to work against you, period. And they're going to conspire behind you. And that's where men go when they want to be open and transparent. That fear is that if people know that about them, they're going to work against them, or they're going to do something or tell everybody about how weak that person is, or how weak you are. And that's the fear that men have. Vulnerability is not a weakness. Acting through ego is.
Right.
You know,
And that's what we were talking about. We were talking about ego.
pride and
And
ego.
yeah, and it gets to be like, it gets to a point to where, again, it comes down to just being self-aware, and you got to get to a point to where you want to have that outlet. So I guess, let's talk about the next question before we start to, I guess, wrap up, is where do you find those outlets, K Dizzle?
Where do I find those outlets?
Like when you need to talk and when you need to express yourself and get it off, where do you go?
Where do I go? Shit,
Mm-hmm.
man, I go here.
Yeah.
I go here. I go. I have a couple friends that that when my cup gets full, that I
Mm-hmm.
pour into them, and when their cup gets full, they pour into me. It's an open relationship. There's no judgment there. You just need to be there to listen, because we said it earlier. We talked about it earlier. Um, a full cup is um, is okay to carry for a while, but
Right.
if it starts turning into hours, days, weeks, you ain't gonna be able to hold it the same. And men are walking around holding that cup full,
Right.
not letting it out, not using. What they're doing is they're putting it down using a coping mechanism, which is that table. They're putting it down, picking up the bottle, or drinking, or sex, or whatever it is that they're using to cope with it. But at what they're doing is they're coming back, picking that cup up again, and um, they're never getting fulfillment. They're never getting that pressure released. So I've been lucky enough to have good friends that I can call out of the blue, even if I haven't talked to them in months. I can call them and say, "Hey, this is what I've been thinking about. These are some of the
Yeah.
issues that I'm having. What do you think?" And I've learned to say, even on the career side too, people that I have worked for, yeah, after I start working for them, I say, "Hey, what did you think about me as as an employee? What are some of the things that I need to work on?" That's just me being having the desire and drive to be better. Maybe they see something that I don't see. And that is a trait that people have to be okay with learning the bad shit about yourself, so that you can fix it. But it has to be a want at that point. You got to be able to want to be able to change that shit, and be
Absolutely.
able to work to be a better person. First step in renewing your mind is so you can identify who and what you need. Surround
Yeah,
yourself
self-awareness.
with quality people. If your circle has enough to pour into you, you should get a new circle.
You
You,
can't always take on everybody else's problems too. So that's another thing. There's a fine line between being able to listen, and there's also taking on that person's problems.
hmm
You can be there to listen. You can be there to be that shoulder if you want to, show support. But we also have to keep in mind that I got my problems too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to go outside of where we are most comfortable. Vulnerability needs to be fed more vulnerability. It's to start to a new beginning. That's where growth begins.
Yeah.
That's a great comment, CJ. Welcome to the
Yeah.
show.
Welcome.
But that's where, what's up, Marcel?
What's up,
That's
Marcel?
where growth becomes, that's where growth
Shout out to
starts.
London
And
Voice.
and that's the biggest thing, Kay. Getting together and having conversations like this. In
hmm
today's time, obviously we're seeing a lot of anger, a lot of chaos in the streets, unfortunately, a lot of frustration. And it's because people's cups are full, people's bags are full. You got to express yourself, you got to let it out. You got to let it go. We can't walk around and carry all this hate. And we got to find ways to transfer that energy into something positive for us in our community.
Yeah.
So
The biggest thing that if you take anything out of this conversation tonight, men, women, children, whoever watches this,
right.
the biggest thing is to find someone find someone you can trust, that you can talk to, that you can be open and transparent, full accountability with, and make sure that that is the right person that's going to be able to sit there, and even if they're not able to give you what you need, be able to listen to you without judgment.
And if
Okay.
you don't have that person, and Shanae, don't kill me in the chat because I did it before. I did. I don't do it like I should, but write it down.
Write it
Get you a
down.
pen and pad, and if it's emotions that you're feeling at the time, write it out. It doesn't have to make sense. Shanae, again, don't kill me in the chat. I love you, baby. But I tried it once. It's hard. It's hard because you want to go to that coping mechanism K of like grabbing that J or grabbing that drink instead of writing it down. And that's what I do. I tend to take the path of least resistance because it feels better to drown out in my long day. But if I can, make it and write it down and get those emotions out, it's a healthy release. And that's something that I definitely want to spread.
Or the coping mechanism can be not just something tangible like that. It could be intangible as well.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
could be just or just if you got a hobby in your garage, or you got a motorcycle and you put all your money, you polishing that motorcycle, your car, whatever the case may be. That coping mechanism is allowing your escape from the reality of some of the stuff you're facing. It's good to have it, but you got to have another outlet to express it. You got to be willing and open to find someone to talk to express it. Normalize therapy. It's okay to talk to somebody about your situation, your issues.
I like how you say normalize therapy, man. That's a strong statement. And I think Shanae, she had a statement where she was like, it's okay to normalize telling your friends you love them, and tell them all the time to make it feel weird.
Man, I had to I say that now, hey, I love you, brother. You have to.
Yeah, man.
Because
spread that love, man.
You getting older, bro. You getting older, you realize your time is on this earth is limited.
It's not promised, right?
You still have to find the cause of the root cause of the problem, treat the disease, not just the symptoms. Yes,
Yeah.
and the disease, the true disease is pride. True disease
That's
is
deep.
pride.
That's deep. If we're strong enough to hide our emotions, we should be strong enough to deal with them. And you know what? It's funny. It's funny you say that, Arizona, because it's probably harder to hide them than to actually deal with them. If you think about it, that's deep.
Yeah. So while I was on here, I said, let me find something that that may be able to help. And I don't get money for sharing this shit. We don't get paid. They don't have a paid thing for us. BetterHelp.com, man. Look.
There you go.
I don't care who you go or where you go, find the help. Can you see that? Let me zoom that in like an old man.
Affordable private online counseling.
Yeah, betterhelp.com. I don't know these people, but I know that they have a website where you can get some goddamn help. Somebody is out there giving help for free. Somebody is out there finding ways that people can let it out. Let it out. Normalize therapy. Normalize talking to somebody who can help you work through your problems.
And you'll be surprised who's going through the same thing, or who might be able to share something to you. There you go.
Stone Foundation is a Black-owned practice in Towson. If you got a link, put that link up in the chat. I will share it. But look, men, we have to do better. We have to do better at allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, opening up, talking to our significant other, communicating, being present, and letting go of all that frustrations, all those things that you're working through. Look, we all know we work hard. We're trying to do the best we can. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it's enough, but you are enough, and you have to make sure that people know what you're going through. People know, people know that what's affecting you, so that you can get the help you need to be better. Last thing we want is, last thing we want is depression. The last thing we want is suicide. And what we really want is better humans overall, because good humans make better humans, which make better humans. And the only way this world gets better is better humans, period. Because we got some crazy motherfuckers out there right now that are doing the wildest stuff. The mere fact that the children in elementary school are learning active shooter drills just lets you know that mental health needs to be normalized. We need more funding. We need more focus on it. It is the root of the cause. We are a society that has been built on mitigating the damage versus fixing the root cause. We spend money on police, but we don't spend the money on the social services. We need to change the way that we look at our problems so we can really get to the root of it and fix it. The bottling shit is not serving us. It's killing us. It's killing us.
I think the biggest thing is just knowing, like, you're not by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not by yourself. Stop feeling like you need to be ashamed of how you're feeling. Get it off, let it go. Like you said, we might need to start a new movement, man. We might need to coin that "let it go" phrase, because that's real.
I think Frozen has beat us to it. I think Frozen.
Nah, man, that's different. They're talking about something else. Kids are shooting up schools because their parents are working 100 hours a week and not paying them any attention and having conversations with them. Very true. No attention.
Very true.
Who's raising your children? You might have to, that's been something we've been dancing around.
Man.
That's been something we've been dancing around over the past 14 episodes, K Dizzle. I think episode 15 needs to be who's raising your damn children.
Who's raising your kids?
Are you raising your kids, or is Coco Melon and the TikTok advertisements and it's TikTok?
TikTok or Minecraft.
Oh man, we might have to talk about that, because are they the school shooters?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. But look, man, happy Mother's Day. I want to say thank you, Arizona Ron, as usual. Shanae, thank you so much. I love you, baby. Melinda Heflin, everybody else in the chat. K Dizzle, love you, bro. I'm telling my friends I love them right now. Okay.
Hey, love you too, my guy.
I love you, bro.
Look, social media and Disney Channel. You're right. You're right. That we gonna get to that, man. We gonna get to that.
That's real deep.
It's gonna be episode 15. Who's raising your children? But
who's raising your kids?
Yeah, but shout out to the mothers. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. I love you, Mom.
Yeah, I love you, Mom. My mom called me in the middle of the show. Obviously, she ain't on Facebook.
Well, we love your mom too. I love my mom. Happy Mother's Day to my mother-in-law as well.
Look, the only way that we grow is with you guys' help. Look, we love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Find us on Facebook. Find Have Streams. I'm gonna get the Instagram going.
Have Streams.
There's a way that we can do this on Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna figure it out for next week. So there's an Instagram live too, and we'll pipe that in there as well.
I mean, it's all dressed up. We're everywhere, all dressed up. We everywhere. We growing every week.
Bro.
With
growing every week.
Support.
We're seeing it. We love it. We thank you. And the content only is as good as the interaction that you guys give us. Black kids just kill black
Y'all
kids.
Still going in, man. It's
yeah, good. Look at that. Woo! Black kids just
get an
kill
overtime.
Black kids. Same
get an
gun,
overtime episode.
Different targets. Ooh, we not gonna do that. That crime in the African American community. I'm not gonna use that black on black. I'm just use crime in African American.
Yeah,
but
it's deep.
Yeah, well, let's wrap this up, man. Look, we love y'all. We thank you every Sunday at 9 p.m. It's your boy Have Streams, K Dizzle DC. This was an episode that was definitely needed. That came straight from the heart. That we have close ties to, because everybody goes through something at all different times, and we all need release, and we all need people in our circle that we can talk to, so that we can become better humans overall, man. Look, Hef, what you got, baby?
Hey, man, thanks, guys, again for joining us. It was like K Dizzle said, an episode from the heart. Shout out to the chat. We appreciate you. Love you guys. To my brothers right now going through what they're going through, hold your head. Things will get better. But find that outlet. Don't hold on to it. Let it go. We can definitely start by looking in the mirror and being self-aware. But great episode. Thank you, K Dizzle. I love you.
Love you too, bro.
Have streams everywhere. See y'all next week.
See y'all next week. You know, and I know.
They know. Cause we know. We go all in. You know. I know. They know.